So our first exercise, we're going to do a push out, and as you do that, I want you to tap in front and then bring everything back, push out, tap in front. So make sure you have a good amount of space between your feet. Try to get them at least hips width, so big push out, bring everything back. Make sure you're alternating what foot you're doing. Good, big tap. If it's too easy, you can either go faster with it, good, or you can grab a hand weight or two. So you can do one like this. Good, or you can grab a second one and kind of do a row. Good, and bring it on back. Perfect. And if you're in the chair, it's basically the same thing. I'll show you real quick. Just make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, just as if you were standing. And again, you can do it with weights or without. Big push in front, all the way out, good, and big tap in front, and then bring everything back. Perfect. So that's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2, we're going to do some side steps. So if you have room around you, stand up nice and tall, head up, chest up. Make sure again that your feet are hips width apart. You can do big side steps, and you can have weights by your side, or if they're throwing you off, feel free to put them down. Good, so big side steps. You can also add a little bit of a baby squat here to kind of activate your quads a little bit more. Good, you can also have the little baby squat and just do taps if you don't have a lot of room. Good. Or you can stand up nice and tall and just do big taps. Just make sure your head stays up. Good, try not to look at those toes. Keep that chest nice and puffed out. Awesome, and again, if the weights are slowing you down, feel free to put them down and just do your body weight. So if you're in the chair, you have a few options. You can do a high knee, then a big tap to the side just to make it a little harder, work your quads a little bit more, or you can do big taps to the side for your side steps. Awesome. All right, so exercise number 3, we're going to do our open book. So you can do these with or without weight, sitting or standing. So I'll show you with the weights first. So if you're going to do weights, try to hold them the tall way like this. Make sure you're standing up, sitting up nice and tall. You're going to have those weights up in front of your face. Good. And then you're going to slowly open those arms. Good. Squeeze those shoulders. Keep your arms up and away from your body. Slowly bring them back. You can also switch to doing one at a time. That's perfectly fine. You want a big range of motion for this one. So if you're having trouble going all the way out and all the way back and keeping those arms straight, put the weights down and just do your body weight. That's totally fine. It also feels a little bit more like a stretch when you're doing it without weights. So think about how you're feeling today. Good, and don't forget to breathe on these, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Good. All right, our last exercise, we're going to do opposite elbow, opposite knee. So this works your balance, especially if you're standing. So just see how you're feeling today before you decide if you want to sit or stand or add weights to it. Make sure those feet are hips width apart. You want to keep your back nice and straight. You don't want to try to curve it down to try to get your elbow and knee to touch. You want to go as close as you can with keeping everything straight. Try to keep your head up. So opposite elbow towards your opposite knee. It kind of looks like a crunch. Remember, they don't need to touch. It's just an aiming point. Good. You can go a little slower. If it's easy, try to go a little faster with it. Good. Or you can add hand weights. So if you add your hand weights, just looks like this. Good. And just take your time. Opposite elbow down towards that opposite knee. And then if you're in the chair, it's the same thing. Still make sure you're keeping that back nice and straight, though. You don't want to crunch down and curve it to try to get them to touch. Sit up nice and straight. Puff that chest out. Good. Awesome, so that's all of our exercises for today. We're going to start with the push out and tap, alternating, so you can grab weights or sit or stand to start with that one.